so there might be blue skies now on the 3rd of November, but we've had quite a lot of rain on and off this past week or so, much needed of course. It is still incredibly mild. Got my t-shirt on now, it's around lunchtime. But yeah, let's just have a quick whiz around the garden, see what I've been up to and how it's looking since last month. Right behind me, this is some honesty that I just left to do its own thing in my little kind of wild patch, and it's just beautiful. Nothing too much new to report here. The mint is still fine actually. I have used tons of it, but still plenty here. And it stayed much more upright this year because I did put some horizontal netting in. I seem to remember last year it was horizontal by this stage, so that's been good. Not much going on here. The phlox needs to get pulled out. The honesty is getting pretty enormous. Couple of beds of honesty, and we've pretty much cleared up this other bed of phlox, cleared out the not the quaking grass, the bunny-tailed grasses. One thing I have done is planted about 200 narcissi in the grass here actually. So I've done it against the hedge a little bit, and I dug 3 little graves effectively and put in 50 bulbs in each one. So they should be nice for me to look at from the house, and also obviously for cutting, but it means I'm not using up bed space, valuable bed space. So that was a job I did a couple of weeks ago. Okay, moving on down the garden. The deck is done. Still some tidying up to do, which I might be able to show you next time if you're interested. And done a fair bit of tidying up and planting. Let's just have a little scan around. Okay, right hand side. So the coral stroke red Dahlia, Coral Beauty, this is supposed to be. Yeah, they're still doing all right actually, despite the wet weather. I guess it's still been mild, but I am surprised they are still going. Whatever was in here has been pulled out. Can't remember at the minute. Helichrysum still going strong. I just did another cutting a couple of days ago. They are still coming, just maybe a little bit slower to open, but I still like them like this. So direct sown hardy annuals I haven't managed to tidy up. Somewhere in there, there is some nigella. Phacelia, looking fantastic, but needs thinning out. Certainly if I want to use it for cut flowers. And then on the other side, I'll get affected by the sun. Let's have a look. So cosmos and sunflower. This is the corn cockle I direct sowed, which I think I mentioned last month, which again haven't thinned out. Yet another video saying all the things that I haven't done. I've planted up some cornflower. Pretty sure I've done one bed of blue, which looks like this could be the blue, and then one bed of tall double mixed. I've been a bit more cautious of my spacing. I've just put in rows of 2 so I don't overdo it like I normally do. And more Helichrysum. I'm just going to keep that going for as long as it wants to. And this is the other bed of cornflower. Okay, let's have a look down this, what was the sweet pea arch. As you can see, all the sweet peas, or the remains of, have now disappeared. All the clips taken out for reuse next year. This bed I still haven't done anything with. Next bed has been cleared. And oh yeah, let me show you the Ami. So most of this Ami was actually Well, it was all self-seeded actually. So it's self-seeded here from the bed on the right. It was all in here. A load of it self-seeded here, and I just dug a few up, put them in 3 different rows. Most of them have taken. If there's any gaps, I've still got a good supply to fill the gaps. And when I get round to it, I'm just going to put the Enviromesh over this. So this will be my hopefully early flowering Ami, and it's going to overwinter outside. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, the Amobia Melatum has absolutely loved it here. Again, I've just cut a huge bucket full a couple of days ago, and I'll be ready to cut some more if this comes into focus in a minute. So yeah, and the bees, it's still so nice to have plenty of things that the bees can enjoy. Bees, honeybees, bumblebees, wasps, they're all enjoying having some late summer flowering things as well. So yeah, we cleared this bed, that's all gone. More zinnias here. So these have still been doing okay. So this was Mammoth. Some of, like this one, has certainly had enough. The Queen Red Lime at the back, it's looking pretty nice actually. For some reason not. There we go. Queen Red Lime looking good. And, well, the Cosmos, still enormous, but they haven't had any TLC at all. The season is pretty much over, to be honest. Gone on. We just haven't had a frost. Plenty of wind, plenty of rain now, so they've all got bashed about. You can see down here. Pretty horizontal Cosmos. So a few things in the border I can point out. So the Docus here was very late in the ground, but actually it might now, I'm hoping it's just going to overwinter. It's not going to try and flower at Christmas or something daft. So that's good. There is a little patch of ground elder in there, so I need to have another little attack. I thought I'd lost this fuchsia, but that's a little bit there's come back. Believe it or not, there's a few roses still. I think that's Queen of Sweden. Got a white one there. Roses aren't really my forte, as you can tell. Oh yeah, these lovely things here. There we go. So got lots of patches of that, which is really nice for this time of year. Okay, let's have a little wander down the rest of the garden. The sunflower Helianthus vanilla ice, still going strong. I've hardly used any of those. I think I said that last time. Still got plenty of life in them though, actually, surprisingly. The scabious need to get pulled out. They pretty much had it. Nicotiana, Tinkerbell, I think it's Tinkerbell, or is it Starlight? Had a resurgence. Still not tall enough for me really. And as you can tell, the greater quaking grass, which I normally just have over the borders, needs to be reined in a little bit. It's everywhere. And I've got a few more alliums I need to plant in this bed. So this is usually my allium bed in the spring. So on the other side, we have, I'm still cutting the statice. The yellow is struggling, but the purple is still going really, really strong. Dug up the apriclinium. Tiny bit of statice here, and then the scabiosa needs to come out, and I will probably plant my tulip bulbs in one of these beds when it gets a bit colder. So we need a few more weeks. Normally it's sort of mid to end of November, but it's like the summer at the minute. It's ridiculous. Okay. Raspberries, haven't got into them yet. They will get cut back to ground level in the winter, so maybe another few weeks. They are autumn sown raspberries. The snapdragons and hardy annuals here were pulled out. A little patch of cosmos, which to be honest weren't much use to me, unfortunately, because they were very late flowering. They did have a layer of netting, support netting in there, but they were so big by the time they actually flowered that as soon as there was some wind, they've keeled over. I don't know if you can see over there, which is a shame. Right, perennials. I'm not going to go out of my way to cut these back until sort of February time, just to give the insects a chance to overwinter. If I've got anywhere patches where I've got a weed problem, yes, I will cut them back so I can actually get at things. On the whole, we're doing pretty well. Verbena bonariensis still going strong. I'm enjoying using the Gypsophila paniculata for dried things. The gooseneck loosestrife has got a beautiful colour. And then other things look like they're definitely ready for the winter already. Okay, let's have a look in the little greenhouse. Okay, so sweet peas are sprouting nicely. I didn't have enough to go in this end bit, but there should have been 2 in here. They didn't really like it, or they haven't sprouted, but the rest of them have, yeah, doing quite nicely. And then all the Ranunculus looking pretty good. So they will be ready to put into modules soon. Just want to have a moment. These ones were just taking a little bit longer. So these were the ones that were nearer the glass, interestingly enough. I think they almost dried out, so you don't want to get them too wet, but also you don't want them to be too dry. I can probably lift that off now, actually. Yeah, so Ranunculus doing pretty well. And the Pelargonium still doing amazingly. What a scent. It's absolutely wonderful. Definitely a winner for me this year, having this in the greenhouse. Right, so let's have a look outside. So some spare biennials. I've got those outside. I've split a lot of perennials, things that were moved from our little excavation works up there, and things I can give away on the Seed to Vase course. So I've got Alchemilla mollis, Veronica, Sedum, Achillea by the looks of it, and some other bits and pieces there. Hardy annuals, I just brought these out from the greenhouse yesterday actually, so these are hardening off and I'll be planting those out. And yeah, these Ami majors are looking amazing, so I think those need to be put somewhere too. Let's have a look in the greenhouse. So greenhouse has been cleared. Yeah, this, apart from this, the right hand side on the bottom hasn't. Still a little bit more status to harvest, and the phlox has got mildew, so that needs to come out. But yeah, nice lot of hardy annuals. They've all been pretty much potted up as I want them now. Just need to keep an eye, double check on green fly, double check on watering without over watering. And I will probably put some of them outside and then keep some out in the ground, and then just let some overwinter just outside the greenhouse here. So I've sort of got an insurance policy then. So yeah, more cornflower, Melope, Gypsophila, Covent Garden, some Nigella, I do believe, Clary's Sage, which is all from saved seed. I couldn't resist potting some more up. Snapdragons, I think I might have been overwatering those. Docus, I've got some of that outside, but just my insurance is inside. Calendula, I just dug those up from things that had self-seeded. Ditto with the Ami. Docus, Cynoglossum, and yeah, Snapdragons, and some Nigella, which I dug up from the garden that had self-sown. So the question is, do I put Ranunculus in this year after the problems I had last year? I think I will. I think I will try a few again, and I just need to be on it with the greenfly this time. And I'm going to give them plenty of space. So that is my proposal. Right, let's go and see how the dahlias have fared. So just bearing in mind, no frost. Yes, we've had quite a lot of wind. Yes, we've had quite a lot of rain. And the last time I used any of these was last weekend, I think. I really wouldn't normally expect to be able to provide anything now. But look. 3rd of November. Look at all that colour. Oh gosh, I just remembered another job I need to do, which is label the dahlias. Pretty much cleared this little patch here, apart from the amaranthus, which I think we've pretty much finished with that. Let's have a little look at the biennials. I mean, with all this hot weather, the biennials are going to start flowering if we're not careful. I'm sure they won't, but yeah, they're looking really great. So foxgloves are loving it here. Hesperus, that needs a bit of a weed. Hesperus looking good. More foxglove. These were, I think this is a second sowing of something that didn't really work very well first time, and then just 2 beds of Sweet William. Being very restrained this year. So there we have it. Before I signed off, I just thought I would just show you what I'm up to. I've got a pop-up shop this weekend, but as you can tell, there's still tons of things drying everywhere, all our way around the house. Everything's in boxes. And stacked away in a room upstairs. On my shop and website soon. I'm making the most of these dahlia, but that is the beginning of November garden tour. Very unusual year, really is. I mean, I'd be normally starting to think about putting the dahlias to bed, and look, they're just still flowering their socks off, making the most of it as they were held back all in the summer with the hot, dry weather. Hope you enjoyed it, and plenty to do for next month. So yeah, stay tuned for an update. Click on that subscribe button so you get a notification as a reminder if you're interested in seeing what's happening here in the Cotswolds, in the UK, in the cutting garden.